Plunder Patrol sails the 7 formats as we have the Wisconsin and the Honduras double regional breakdown for you. Hello, 34% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of the subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 110,000 ladder here. So the breakdown for the Wisconsin regional here, pretty straightforward. We had 3 tier elements in Top Cut. Not surprised about that. We had 2 Sprite. Okay. So those are average numbers, rookie numbers. Get those tier numbers up to 6 to 7. We had 1 Plunder Patrol list in Top Cut, which is actually kind of the coolest thing out of this Top Cut. Main reason why I even wanted to talk about this regional. We also have Flaunderies. Then we have a Naturia Sprite tier pile. Now, I do not have the list for this, but from what I was told, that was the concoction that one of the duelists was playing. That I feel like that's a 60 card pile that will be better left to really see the light of day elsewhere. And here in a little bit, we also have a Blackwing list here that made top 32 out of this regional, which is actually pretty impressive. Let's pass on over so you can see some of these top deck lists. All right, the first list we have here is Makela's Plunder Patrol list. Now, what I can tell you about this is this is not the only Plunder Patrol list that has actually been successful as of late, which is kind of nice. So you are relying on the right of Armezia package here to kind of set up and do things. Then you have the power player here that is Illegal Knight, which will actually tear apart a lot of the opponent's field. And then you might notice it might be a little bit weird that you see that we're citing the Wandering Griffin Rider. He was like, his card's pretty bad. He's planning on cutting it in the future iterations, so that's kind of interesting. And we are also playing the Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon as well. So you are going to get some value out of this, but honestly, am I surprised to see that a deck like this performed and did well? No, I'm really not. All right, considering a lot of how some of the formats have gone and a lot of things like this, for this to sail all the way into first place, I'm not shocked at all, and really nor should you, because that's what really makes events like this really nice. Now, second place here, you are going to be no stranger to the name Elise Davis, locking down second place out of this event. Now, a lot of tier element shenanigans have been cutting back on poor Aguido. Aguido once loved 2 in the format, and they got it for this list. All right, so we are playing the triple Aguido here. So basically for the regional level, you can get away with some more shenanigans per se here. So this is actually really good. We're playing 6 buy steals, which I think is fine. It feels like the right number here. And then we are playing 2 Scream. No heartbeats in the main deck. We just have access to it down here on the side. Of course, the Neck World Banshee, Zombie World shenanigans, and then we're main decking double Solic with the 1 Crime. Those are all particularly straightforward ratios. Doesn't really change, but if you've looked at a lot of these tier lists, you're going to be very familiar with a lot of the ratios and a lot of the more, I would say, consistent things that you've seen from these, because 95% of them end up being about the same. Now, we also had the Flaunderies list. This was 7th place here. Now, not surprised once again to see that this is actually doing well. 1 Stormwinds is perfectly fine. We're playing Dark Ruler No Mores for the board breaks. And of course, we have to have Evenly Matched as the equalizer. This card is going to be one of the main reasons why this deck gets to kind of edge itself on into the competition here and actually break apart opponents' boards. Is it something that, you know, if you're looking at playing Flounder here, that you're going to have to really play? I think the answer is yes. I think that you are going to have to play these. Do keep in mind that we are citing the Ultimate Slayers as well. We're also citing the Unexplored Winds down here, so you have access to 1 in the main, 1 in the side. This card is actually really good for one of the best spot removal options really in the game, alright? You get out Mystic Mine with this, not like you gotta really worry about Mystic Mine anymore, but that is everything that I have out of the top 8 of the Wisconsin Regional. I'm sure there's much more out there, but for semantics' sake, that's what we have. And then we have the 22nd place Flaunderies, or excuse me, the 22nd Blackwing list. Now, everything I know about Blackwings, the buy steel package is pretty much needed for this format. I do like the fact that we are playing Small World in here. This actually opens up some interesting lines of play for this deck to possibly get into some starters and some other stuff. But I will say for the most part here that interesting to see some of the ideas and things that some of these particular Blackwing builds have come across. And like I said, it is very nice to see some of the better ideas out here. Of course, a deck that can actually have access to Dimension Shifter to kind of detour some of the opponent's plays. Yeah, I perfectly understand why this is going to get the chance to work out. So you shouldn't be too surprised to really see some of the power out here with some of these more upbeat decks. All right, now we're going to pass on over so you can see what in the world happened out here for the Honduras regional breakdown. All right, now for your Honduras regional breakdown here, now there's not a lot to really unpack for this regional, but we had 5 tier in the top cut, which is actually kind of whatever. I mean, once again, we've seen this deck be such a dominating force and such an annoyance within, you know, the confines of the format that it is at this stage what it is to talk about it. We also had 2 Sprite, which is actually kind of an interestingly mid number for Sprite. I think that we'll continue to see that build do particularly well, at least continue to maintain some sort of presence in the metagame. And our rogue pick for this event was actually Exo Sister. I am actually kind of happy to see that Exo is getting the chance to kind of shine here, which is actually kind of nice. But I mean, overall, unpacking this into the secondary video here to include in this one, you can definitely see like how your meta is stacking up here, which once again, you shouldn't be surprised to see some of these rogue picks. Now let's pass on over so you can take a look at the top 8 deck list out of Honduras here. Winning the event here was none other than good stuff, good old tier. We are main decking 1 Agito, which is fine. We're playing the double Screech with the 1 Heartbeat in the main. And then Gamma Driver, we're citing the additional Heartbeat down there for the side deck. Honestly, outside of that, Droplet, I guess, is the only other real saucy thing for this list. You'll kind of notice the more as you look through a lot of these deck lists, the more they'll blend together. Second place here is our Sprite list. So yeah, wow, we really did have some real contenders out here pushing back and forth. I do see that we are playing 6 buy steals. We are not citing any extra buy steals. That's interesting. A lot of these lists that you will tend to see will have the additional buy steals. And we are citing the End of the Abyss down there as well. But I don't see anything else really out of left field for this list. Feels, once again, pretty straightforward for the nimble good stuff. All right. Third place here is our Exo Sister list. We're playing triple dimensional shifter with, double shifter with 2-dimensional fissure. We are citing the Necro Valley. I've kind of noticed a lot of these Exo Sister lists as of late have been focusing more on the aspect of having that readily in the side deck, which I think is fine at the end of the day, as long as you can still pull a Necro Valley out of your butt when you need it. We're also citing the set rotation and terraforming to get to the Necro Valley, so it is essentially a win con at the end of the day there. Fourth place here is going to be another... I wish I could stop talking about all these. We have another version of Keldo and Friends, this time still with 1 Agito. We are playing the Diviner for the dropping. We are playing the Heartbeat with the Scream. We are citing triple crossout designator as well. Wow. I don't know who bullied this duelist to make them actually side crossout designator, but they must be so sick of the mirror match that they've had to adapt to that. All right. I also see here that we have 5th place, which we are playing 5 buy steals in the main. We are not even citing Saranir. We are playing... Oh, no, we are playing Saranir. There he is. We are playing 1 Agito. It makes me so happy, once again, to see that Agito is seeing some sort of love. We're playing 1 Droplet. That is very cute and very interesting to get away with that as a one of. We're also side decking double skill drain. If you run into Rogue around the ladder, I think that will actually put you in a decent position here. 6th place here is more. Oh boy. Hey, look, we're playing 2 Reno Heart. We've seen double Reno Heart actually kind of stick around for a little while in a lot of these events, which has actually been kind of interesting to see. We're playing double Scream, 1 Heartbeat in the main. We are playing the Herald of Orange Light with the Diviner. And we are citing evenly matched down there. All right, so going to be a real evenly of a time. Not too bad. Like I said, a lot of these lists kind of blend together, so... what else we got here? 6 buy steals for this Sprite list. Okay. We're playing Anti-Spell Fragrance. Haven't seen a lot of that. I do like that idea, actually. That kind of... Okay. I see that we are playing the Mind Control with the Change of Heart. Okay. in the side deck. I mean, it's actually kind of cute that you can get away with just taking your opponent's monster and you're like, haha, let's go ahead and overlay with it. You know, especially like the mirror match. Oh, it gets actually kind of brutal. And the last list out of this regional is another by Steel tier. In terms of developments for this deck, I mean, let me tell you, man. So every one of these lists played a Guido. Yes, that's a win for a Guido. 1 Heartbeat, 2 Scream, and of course, we're citing the talents instead of maining them. That's kind of interesting, but that's everything I have for the Wisconsin and the Honduras regional breakdowns. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.